What's up guys, Jeff Wybo here, and in this video I'm going to be teaching you guys how to get your real estate offers accepted. This will be for realtors but also for any real estate investor out there. I'm going to be sharing with you guys my tips. So first, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button. We're going to get into the video. If you guys are new to this channel, I post about real estate content, money tips, me traveling around the world. So I really appreciate you guys follow around on my journey. So without further ado guys, I have 10 tips that are going to help you guys get your offers accepted in a hot real estate market. Let's go. Number one, speed. Speed will get your offer accepted in this market. Right now in Southwestern Ontario, things are starting to heat up. So you have to work fast. All right, so if you guys see a property that's just hit the market, and let's say it's Wednesday, but then you're gonna ask your realtor, or if you are a realtor, you wanna really pay attention to this and determine if offers are due, let's say Sunday night at 6:30. The next thing in Southwestern Ontario, or Ontario in general, what you wanna do is determine if there's a 244 form in place. If there's no 244 form in place, you could bully offer. So that it would be something that you're gonna wanna do immediately to beat out your competition. So if offers are due 6:30 on Sunday and on Wednesday the property hits the market, you want to be offering Wednesday night. You don't want any more competition to go see this property. You want to make them an offer they can't refuse right then and there. They're going to take your deal. And if you want to wait around all the way till Sunday to see if you're going to get a deal, you might find yourself in a multiple offer situation. So this is why it's very important that speed gets the deal done. And another way that speed can work in your favor is if you have digital signatures, have DocuSign or AuthentiSign, whatever it is. You don't want to be driving in snowstorms to get signatures. Speed gets the deal done, because the moment you forget something or something changes or a client wants to change a deposit, you want to be digitally signing these documents, because that is what's going to get the deal done. You can email it to the listing agent immediately. If you are just a real estate investor, you see a new property hit the market, go on realtor.ca. You can see who the agent is and has our email address. Send them an offer immediately right then and there, and put on a tight irrevocability. This will put them under pressure to take your offer. They may say thank you for the offer, but you're gonna have to come back Sunday and submit, but at least you know, and maybe you move on to a different property. But if you're looking to get a property quickly, speed is so important, because that is what's going to get you ahead of the competition in this crazy market, and it's only going to get worse right now in Southwestern Ontario. Keep your offers clean. Guys, I've seen so many people put in crazy amount of exit clauses. So we can have a financing clause, we can have a home inspection clause, we also have insurance clause. If you put them all to expire at the same date, they're technically doing all the same thing. Now, you might be thinking, yes, but I want to cover myself for an insurance clause. But what does that really do? If a seller's looking at your piece of paper, they are just going to see a lot of words immediately. And maybe these words are very familiar to you, but they might not be to a seller. So I love to get my offers accepted by keeping them super, super clean. So if you can get away with just one exit clause, do that, especially in this hot market, if you're going to be putting a clause in at all. And the only way you're going to be able to do that is combining it with tip number one, speed, and maybe an exit clause. Maybe the seller takes your deal right there. Otherwise, you don't want any conditions at all, but consult your realtor, or if you are a realtor, make sure you're educating your buyers about what could happen if their deal was accepted and they didn't have an exit clause into the deal. So basically, another great exit clause you guys can have, if you guys DM me on Instagram, maybe I'll share it with you, is a due diligence clause, which could cover all of the exit clauses, and you don't have to put in financing, inspection, insurance, anything like that. It just says, I want to do due diligence for an amount of a time period. If I don't do my due diligence within the time period, this offer is null and void. This is a very strategic condition you can put in for an exit clause, and I really suggest you guys to start playing around with these clauses to cover your butt, but also to get your offers accepted. Number three, a really important thing to get your offer accepted is to nail the deposit. Now, how do you know how much of a deposit you have to put into an offer? Well, you can just ask sometimes. Sometimes a listing agent will let you know exactly what they're kind of looking for to get the deal accepted. Otherwise, there's this fine dance of not putting in too much, but not putting in too little. You want to show the seller that your offer is absolutely serious by having a decent deposit so that they actually want to sign and take your deal. However, you don't want to be putting in too much money, because sometimes, you know, I'll share with you guys on the channel here, what if a seller doesn't close? Then your deposit's in limbo for a while, and it's going to be a big pain in the butt. I know you're always thinking the buyer's not going to close, but what if a seller doesn't close? What if he has a change of mind? What if somebody tells him he could have got more in the summer and he decides just to not show up to the lawyer's office? Kind of a problem. Yes, you could recuperate your funds eventually, but you just don't want to be putting too much. You see some people do $100,000 deposit. That might be too much, especially if the property is only $400,000. Now, if the property's $4 million, maybe $100,000 makes more sense. So in certain markets, they do a 1% here and there, but you're gonna have to really feel it out. In Toronto, it's much higher than it is in London, Ontario, which it is in Windsor. So really ask the listing agent what they're looking for as a deposit, because again, you want to get your offer accepted. This is why you're going fast, this is why you're going clean, and now you're gonna hit the deposit. That leads me into the next part. Number 4, really pay attention to what date the seller wants to close. If the seller wants to close on April the 17th, this is extremely important and you need to attack this information. You might not even have to offer more than the next guy if you can hit the seller's date, because they're telling you for a very specific reason. And if it doesn't work out for you, unfortunately, too bad. You have to close on April 17th, most likely, unless you want to overpay to get what you want. It's not about you, especially in a hot market. It's about actually providing the seller with a clean offer, the speed, a decent deposit, and now hit their closing date. If you can hit their closing date, again, this goes for realtors that are watching this video and also to real estate investors, you will be more advantageous to the seller to actually take your deal. So hit their closing dates, really listen to it, and the moment they talk about April 17th and they might want more money, say, you know, I got your closing date, but this is all we can offer. They may take your deal. Maybe nobody else offering could actually hit that date, but you will. And this is gonna be very important for you to get more and more deals in the future. All right, so number 5, and I really wanted to save this one for you guys on the channel. I wanted to put it more in the middle of the video here just to make sure you guys were sticking around. But this one is extremely important, and probably in your market, you're not doing it, but it'll be for the actual deposit check, how you're gonna implement that within your deal. So one of the tips that I have, so get your pens out, write this down, is to actually have a check and write it to the brokerage that will be depositing the check into their trust account, and either submit it here with the offer or upon acceptance, but you actually email a picture of the check to the listing agent. And what this will do will let them know, especially if you're a firm deal, that that night the property can be sold. I've seen it where somebody says, I'll get the check to you in the morning, and the person has a second thoughts and something happens. So when you are actually sending your offer into a listing agent, send them a picture of that check, because then they're gonna feel comfortable that if they sign your document tonight, they can actually get the deal done, because you'll say, I can have this check to you in 30 minutes after you guys signing this. Or you could be that guy, that creeper that's outside their house waving the check right then and there, because that's how real estate used to happen back in the day, like that. But in today's market, you know, it doesn't always work. We do a lot of emailing, but that is another thing that can happen. They do it a lot in the Toronto market right now, but I'm not seeing it in other areas of Southwestern Ontario. So bonus, if you are watching this video, implement that into your deals that you can get them their money immediately, because as we know, an offer needs to be accepted, but it also needs consideration, which is the deposit check. So you're pretty much doing what? Peace of mind. And as long as there's peace of mind, the seller will sell to you, and they're gonna feel confident that you will actually close on the deal because you have your ducks all in a row. Number 6, again, it's about keeping it clean. I've been seeing a lot of different things within a contract. And again, if a seller's looking at a contract, you don't want to be having broom swept conditions. So no broom swept conditions. Why? Because you as a real estate investor or you as a real estate agent are gonna get in there and pay a cleaner $100 to sweep the place. So don't write it into the contract, because think about it. Do you want the house or do you want a clean house? Yes, it's gonna be a piss off if your buyers show up and it's dirty, but it's not the end of the world, and it's your job to do damage control. And if you're a real estate investor, you just want them gone. Do you really want to nickel and dime over what a $300 1-800-GOT-JUNK bill is going to cost, or do you actually want that property? The best thing to do is to actually not write in any of these things. Just leave it as dirty as possible, get the hell out of here, and we will take it, especially if you want a deal, because you're moving fast and you're doing all these things I've been telling you in the video. If you want a perfect clean house, go ahead, overpay for it. But if you want a deal in the real estate market, this is how you're gonna do it. No broom swept conditions. Number 7, if you are gonna have an exit clause, you wanna keep your conditional period very, very short if possible. Think what you could do is squeeze in our market right now, maybe 3 to 5 business days will somewhat work. Let's say you do need more. I have clients right now and they're asking for 3 weeks. 3 weeks is gonna be very difficult to get. The best thing to do, guys, honestly, and I know the market can be extremely hot, is to keep as short as possible. And if you do need 1 or 2 more days, it's a lot better to beg for forgiveness at the end of the conditional period, asking for those 1 or 2 more days, than to blatantly ask for it at the beginning. Because if a seller's looking at a piece of paper and you want to tie up his property for 10 business days, he's just immediately, or she's immediately going to say no. They don't want it tied up. But if you tied it up for 5 business days, and then at the end of 5 business days, when they thought the property was going to be sold, but you need more time, you beg for 2, 3 more business days, likely, guys, in my experience, they will extend your contract, just because you're a lot closer to getting the deal done than them starting from scratch again, because they've lost momentum, because they've gone conditional with you. So keep those dates short, even if you do need more time, because it's a lot better just to beg for forgiveness later. Number 8, if you do want your deal accepted, you want to keep the irrevocability, which is the amount of time your offer is good for, a very short period of time, especially if you're making them, again, an offer they can't refuse. You want to put them under the gun. This is especially important if it is, again, that scenario where it's Wednesday but offers are due on Sunday. You say, that's cool, here's my offer, it's only good till 11 p.m. on Wednesday night. You don't want more people to have time. If you do the irrevocable all the way to Saturday, that gives more people more and more time to go in and view the property, thus putting you into more competition. So you're not going to want to do that. You're going to want to keep it nice and short, but the only reason you can keep it short is if you're all clean throughout. It doesn't even mean you're at their asking price. You could be under, but you're hitting their dates, your deposit's good, you have either one exit clause or no exit clauses, but you're going to put them on a tight timeline to take your deal, because you might just say, you know, I'll walk away if you don't want to take this deal. And that's going to put the ball back into the seller's court, and they're gonna have to determine if they want to take your deal or not. Number 9, walkthroughs. So I know you want to get back into the property a few times before closings. In my experience, this is one of the things you can massage as well. So if you do need 3 or 4 times into the property, that might just look suspicious to a seller. It's better to keep it closer to the 1 or 2 mark, but then honestly begging again for forgiveness for 1 more viewing later on. Most sellers will allow this, but you don't want to like upfront ask for it. This could nip you in the butt, but it's also, we're talking about how to get your deal accepted. And so if you're going to need an appraiser to come in later on, you want to keep one of the walkthroughs for potentially the appraiser. If you're in for a firm deal and you've already firmed up your conditions, you might need that appraiser in, so you're going to want to keep the walkthroughs till later. But if you want to have 4, 5, 6 walkthroughs, a seller's going to want to cross that out immediately and say, yeah, no, you can get 1 or 2. If it is a vacant property, they'll often allow you to do as many as possible, but you got to really understand what's going on at the property. If it's a family, they do not want 4 walkthroughs. You might get 1 or 2. So to get your deal accepted, keep those walkthroughs very low amount of numbers, but then if you do need more, you can always beg for more. In number 10, guys, if you do want your deals accepted in this hot market, here's a crazy one. You have to be polite. Be extremely polite to sellers or seller agents. This will get them on your side, and it's just psychological. They will actually want to work for you. So if you do offer a lot lower than the asking price, there's no coming in like Ari Gold from Entourage telling them what a piece of crap property this is just to get it accepted. This is the best way to not get your offer accepted. Best way to do is to be extremely polite. If it's an agent, this is Canada, to say buddy a lot. Hey buddy, here's an offer for you. I really hope we can make a win-win happen on this deal. That at least tells him you are trying. They weren't just trying to piss them off. They could come back and say, hey Jeff, so sorry, we're not even close to what we want, but I really appreciate your offer. All right, now we're starting a bit of a conversation, and maybe I'm able to come up, or maybe the person gives me a little bit more information on how to actually get my deal accepted. If I just came in hot and heavy, they're just gonna tell me to pound salt and get the hell out of here. Same thing with a homeowner. If you're dealing directly with a homeowner, you wanna be extremely polite. It is their actual property. And if you are an investor, you wanna say, here's my offer, as you know, here's my offer as an investor, you know I'm trying to make money on this deal. Here's the best deal I can offer you at the moment right now. Here you go, Mr. or Mrs. Seller, right here. Therefore, they might come back and say, but we gotta pay for the furnished rental, and then you might come up $5,000 and you got yourself a deal. If you just came in saying your house is a piece of crap, they're just gonna wanna put up their guard as well. So being polite in this business works so well. Sure, scream about people when you hang up the phone, but you never wanna be done. So being polite and courteous and all this stuff towards sellers and seller agents is what will actually get you deals in this market, because they're gonna wanna work hard for you because you're a nice guy or you're a nice girl. And that's the kind of stuff I love teaching you guys on this channel. So hopefully this video has helped you guys out. As always, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I really hope these tips have helped you. If they've helped you, to, let me know down in the comment section. It really helps out the engagement on this video. And hit the subscribe button and get over on Instagram at Jeff Wybo. I post there every single day. Follow me over there. Send me a DM that you just watched this video and I will get back to you, I promise. And we'll catch you guys on the next video. Bye.